Welcome everybody, episode 16,
16.
right? Of
16,
Straight Talk
baby.
Commerce, heading into the fourth quarter of 2024. Yeah, we got a month left till the fourth quarter, but it feels like it, right? You come off the summer, things are dead, people have other priorities coming up on Labor Day, at least here in the States, and then I feel like it's kind of a race towards the end of the year. We're going to talk this week about the top 10 social media marketing. I don't know if we want to call them tips or just things you could do.
Well, anybody that's struggling with their social media, it's always good. We talk about marketing, we talk about, the things in your business that you can improve on. This happens to be very pressing issue right now. Tons and tons of searches on refocusing social media. So we're going to talk about that today, Dave.
Yeah. And look, there'll be a lot of noise, right? I mean, you have Christmas coming up, you have Thanksgiving. You know, Thanksgiving's in a weird spot this year for our US listeners because it is kind of it's the 28th. So goes deep into the month. We have the election here early November, so that's putting a big stressor on things and just clogging up a lot of our information flow. And that's why one thing, by the time people hear this, we'll have announced we're moving our summit to November 19th and 20th, right? Because we just felt like, oh my God, with all the just noise in the media around who's going to be leading the US, which affects really the whole world.
It definitely
So much,
affects
right?
attitudes,
Yeah, and then
you know.
coming on the other side of it, depending on which way it goes, it certainly seems like a close race that could affect AI policy. It could affect a lot of the things we're talking about today.
It's
You
definitely
know,
going to affect the economy in a
and
huge way.
totally.
I think we both agree on that. I think it's going to affect interest rates. It's going to affect, well, there's just a lot straight down the line. There's going to be an effect. You saw that effect from President Trump's first term in office. Then this last 3 years, 4 years, things feel different.
Yeah,
There is there are consequences for changing these policies, as we are now learning, and it's pretty crazy. So, but
so
focusing back, what we want to do is we want to kind of make your business impervious to market conditions. We want
right,
to help you get to a point where, yes, the economy is doing something, but we can quickly pivot and take advantage of things coming the other direction.
for sure. And look, that gets us right on number 10. Stay updated on trends, right? So as things pop up, industry news, um what's going on in the industry, leaders, Halloween, Labor Day here in the States, Halloween. I think Halloween's global. um New social media platforms coming out, right? And just how we communicate with people on different social media platforms is crazy. I mean, some of our listeners, we talked, Wayne, about this year's costume that we were going to create. I don't even know if that's over that discussion, because that could be a winner, but
These are T-Mobile.
As soon as that is definitely something that I want to address. You know what I mean? That is definitely something that would be, I need to think a lot about, because having a stash costume is really on number one on my list of things to do.
listen, I would wear
100%.
that, and I'd need scarves and the go the
I'm going
whole.
to insert a picture of our friend's stash for everyone that, has no idea what we're talking about. But yeah, that is definitely something that is doable. One thing that I want to do. Experimentation. I mean, in this case, what I'm thinking of though is experimenting with new things. Keeping up with the trends certainly, but kind of experimenting in new ways of communicating with your customer.
Yeah,
You never want your social media to go stale. That's the one area of your business that absolutely cannot spoil or go stale. Now, you don't want to get too crazy about it. You don't want to, say stuff out of pocket, but you definitely want to have the ability to communicate with your customers and keep that conversation fresh. Dave.
Right, which goes right into our next number 9, which is analyzing and optimizing, right? Tracking performance, adjust strategies. Looking at it, Wayne, when it's a two-person straight talk commerce rather than a three.
Right.
Just saying, we looked at some of those numbers. I don't know, Wayne. I mean, any comments about that?
Look, I miss Ian. I miss Ian, and it's not the same without him. And it looking at it analytically, it's not the same without Ian.
Hmm.
You can take that any way you want. He needs to get his butt back here, is really what needs to happen. As much fun as it is just the two of us, and in seriously for a minute, as much fun as it is with the two of us, sparring back and forth, when our third wheel is not in the room, it's not the same really, for me. But the only way we would know that, though, Dave, is if we were tracking our podcast performance.
Yes.
If you do not know where you are, how will you know where you're going, how to get where you want to go? And that's serious.
Yeah, and as you look, as people may start on Shopify or BigCommerce, or even just on Facebook or YouTube, whatever. Now, if you're adding TikTok, now if you're adding some of these others, the message is going wider, so you can't funnel everybody up into like the main source. So there's certainly, yeah, we'll talk about this as we go, and then we'll have some announcements later too. We can really work with everybody closely on what they're doing. But
Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, but this goes kind of right into collaboration with influencers and what is an influencer, right? Because I know one of your heroes, Mr. Beast, right? He's done a lot, and he's the beast, right? He's number one, but he's working with a lot of the up and comers to really help them grow, and then this is about community action, right?
Look, Dave, I argue once you're in the upper echelon, that's the only way that you can grow. Once you're at the top of the heap, the only way for you to grow is to stuff people beneath you, help them, grow from them. But I want to go back to performance tracking for a second, because this is very, very important. You have all the free tools in the world, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's, YouTube offers a tremendous number of analytics, all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they all, even LinkedIn offers a look at your KPIs, your key performance indicators, right? To tell you how your social media, if it's reaching the right people, if it's connecting. You can look through your comments and find out what your engagement rate is very, very quickly. So those are things that we really need to be paying attention to, especially when the economy is a little bit slower and stuff. And the second part of that is, it does you absolutely no good to know what those things are if you aren't prepared to adjust your strategy. Because if you find, and you will, by the way, there will always be a weak spot. No matter how strong your base is, there will always be something that is weaker than the rest of what you've got going on. Your 19 to 25s, that may be your soft spot, and you need to adjust your social media to help with that. Or maybe you're not reaching 55 to 65s, okay? Or maybe it's just women in the 55 to 65. Guess what? You can adjust your social media to address those people and shore up the areas that were soft spots for you before.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit witty.com and become a member today.
Right. And again, they're not weak or soft. I mean, soft. There's just areas you can now elevate things, right?
Yeah.
So everything can be going great. Look at where you can tighten it up, where you can expand. Because yeah, right. Because I think yes, in Prince Stash, like we talked about, it has grown tremendously. How do we partner with him, Gary, some other people?
Yeah, and
Stuff like that. Right.
one look at Stashes, he got 500,000 followers on Instagram. One look at his analytics tells you that he's super strong at the 19 to 30 year olds, not so strong in the middle, in the 40 and 55 year olds, but then picks right back up when it's 65 to 70.
Yeah.
So there are places where he could, and the reason I'm saying this is the way to shore that up is number 8, collaborate with your influencers. Okay.
Right.
You pick influencers in the demographic who have the demographic you want, and you do a collaboration. You reach out and touch the hand of somebody in that age group that is already has a fully functioning a group of people in that age group or that demographic that you want. And by the way, it's helpful if you have something that they want. So this is a very copacetic issue that you guys are both dealing with. And by the way, hint to those taking notes, that's the way you approach someone. You say, hey, Dave, I notice that you're very strong on and you lead off with this, by the way, the 18 to 30-year-olds you're very strong with. And I could use a little help with that. And here's what I'm bringing to the table. Because I noticed that since you are so strong there, your 35 to 55s are a weaker point for you. And I'm going to hit them, my group, who I'm very strong with, I'm going to hit them with your product. And I'm going to do it first.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah, and authenticity, right? I mean, I know you had that as one of the bullets.
Yeah, people
It,
love throwing
it's
that word around.
well, but listen, it comes through, right? Because people that are trying to change who they are at their core, it's going to come through and it's going to be identified. It's not going to last. And it's
I
like
just
not
find it very funny that people struggle with being who they are and acting who and by I get it in a way because I am constantly being told to simmer down or to straighten up and fly. Look, man, I am who I am. Okay, and that's just what you're gonna get from someone like me. I'm pretty bulletproof when it comes to that. People say that to me, and I just go, you don't know you don't know who you're talking to. Other people may feel, oh, well, maybe I need to conform. Yeah, you don't need to conform. You don't need to be totally egregious. You don't need to go around making everybody mad and upsetting people and being mean-spirited.
Yeah.
But if you're the one that's offering, you're the one that's inviting, you're the one that's connecting, guess what? Either you do it with authenticity, okay, or don't do it at all. Don't try to be smarmy and fake it, because that is disgusting to everybody involved.
Totally. Yeah, no, for sure. And look, and I think that, and again, getting having that authenticity and connecting with collaborators and just content creation is one area. And then, as we talked about in number 7, it's utilizing paid advertising, right?
Yep.
So many tools now to manage our prior number 8 and really here, because a lot of there's so many ways to like do it easier. Buy HubSpot for a few grand a month. A lot of this data is there. There's now AI tools where you can be getting the same if you know how to configure it for $20 a month as you
Oh my
do.
God.
Your competitor might be paying 3 or 4 grand a month.
Dave,
So yeah, Wayne, please.
look, man, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, but look, this podcast is a perfect example of what can be done. Right before we started, I invited you in. I pulled you to the back end of our podcast, showed you the analytics, and showed you what we're spending in outreach to reach people and to grow this channel. And right now, as we sit here and speak, it's 5 cents per subscriber, the new subscriber. So it is a very tiny amount of money that we spend in paid advertising. We absolutely use paid advertising. And if you have a business and you are not using some of the tools and paid advertising, then you are not going to grow. I'll go that far. You will not grow. And the tools are allowing you, it's your best weapon. It's your only equalizer to the big names. You tell Target that you can reach someone at a fraction of a dollar. Your cost of a customer is a fraction of not even 10 cents, and they're all over that. So it's possible to do, and it's possible to do because we have at our disposal these AI tools that seek out the most likely subscriber to us. This person is we're going to show it to them because they are most likely to like the content that you're putting out, and they are most likely the ones that's going to subscribe to you. Think about this. Before, all you did was throw this giant net out into the ocean, and maybe you caught a tuna, but most of it was rocks and algae and coral and fish that you couldn't eat. This way, it's almost like using a line, and you're targeting individual people, and you're doing it in a massive crowd. You're just picking them out of the crowd like berries on a bush, and you're leaving the ones that aren't ripe and not ready to talk to you. You're leaving them there.
Right. And look, as we talked about last, influencers, paid advertising, not 100% paid, using it to amplify the things you're doing. And then just another really important thing, which I think is number 6, which can get overwhelming at the time, at times, especially if you go viral or something blows up, but you have to engage with your audience authentically, right?
Well, and the only way to measure that is let's go back once again. Let's go back to number 7 and A/B testing. So that's how you tell whether you're hitting, whether your punches are landing. You see, give you an example of this today. Just today, I took last week's clips, changed the title in several of those clips. I made those clips longer, some of them shorter, changed up what we were saying in those clips, put them back on, increase the amount of content for our channel. Now, it watered down the views, but some of those got way more views than the one that was on there previously. So while you're right, someone would be right in the saying, well, Wayne, all you did by repurposing that content is just, the same views. No. We got more views with the new content, or we didn't. And I can tell you now which version was better. And I don't have to guess because I tested it. I know which one got more views, more watch time, more people going to the MelodyClouds website or the Witty website. I already know that.
Thanks for coming to today's Zoom meeting. Let's break the ice by starting with a bad joke. A minister, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar. The bartender says to the rabbit, "What can I get you?" "I don't know, I'm just here because of autocorrect."
That is unacceptable, horrible.
You upset the baby.
That was as boring as your Zoom background.
People will think that I'm smart if I have books on a shelf behind me.
But I think one title is Green Eggs and Ham. Another one is Winnie the Pooh.
They were real nail biters.
If you subscribe to the Adobe Creative Suite, use Photoshop and Midjourney, you have all the tools to create great backgrounds. Like this one. I created the background in Midjourney, drew the birds in Illustrator, made them fly in Adobe Animate, and saved it as an MP4.
Companies can create a library of backgrounds for all their official Zoom interactions.
Does anyone want to hear another joke?
It is getting late.
You can buy great backgrounds now or join ZoomBack Pro and create your own. Go to zoomback.pro for more info.
Know that.
And I think these are also great examples as we pull back to number 6. What, when you think about this, you don't need to be on every platform at the beginning, right? This takes a lot of work and build up slowly and make sure you take care of your audience. Then you can start to expand, right? So you saw Straight Talk Commerce, kind of YouTube only started. Now you're starting to see some clips on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
So, right, and TikTok. I mean, I said TikTok, but yeah, but I think, that's important. And then again, when you look at, and again, Witty, we've been around 35 years. I'm finding stuff that's aggravating the shit out of me. But look, these are all just lessons learned. And then as we start the Straight Talk Commerce community on Witty, I think we'll be partnering with, figure out how to work our friend, the e-commerce redneck into it. It's all about having the trusted community to go to, learn from our mistakes, learn from other people in the community. That's really what this community stuff's all about.
Well, it's not much of a community if it's just you. You ask yourself the question: you want to be a small town, a mid-sized city, or do you want to be a bustling metropolis?
Well, right, but it's also leveraging the communities to
Yes.
not think like, oh, there's a fun place to go. I want to,
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to introduce our community to the e-commerce redneck. I'm sorry. I just cannot wait to do that. The dichotomy between the way that you and I handle these podcasts and the way that Jeremy does is a very stark difference. There is a massive audience for the way he does things, just as there is a massive audience for the way that we do things.
right.
And you're right. Engaging with your audience and engaging with other audiences is really the way to go. We always tell people, hey, look, we'd appreciate it if you like this, like it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you get more of it, notification bell, so you're notified every single time that one of these comes out. It's easy for our listeners, our subscribers, because we post Wednesday night Pacific Standard Time at 8 p.m. every single time. Everyone knows when our premiere is. Okay. So those are things that we're doing to help our community engage with us. We talk about prompt responses. I had a very interesting conversation with someone who made a comment on one of the videos, and it was about you, Dave. And I very quickly saw the comment come in. It's on my phone, and I answered that comment, and they called me. They were like, man, that was I just hit send. And I'm like, yeah, I'm monitoring this all the time. It's fun to engage that way with our customers, with our subscribers.
Absolutely. Which brings us to, number 5, leveraging user-generated content, right? So that's, not only contests, you can run campaigns and that type of thing, but it's really digging into the community to help everybody grow and share and that whole thing. We have tools now, with Witty, we had been using Zoom for many years before pandemic happened, right? And then as we had our members and our communities around the world, you know, they were doing mostly in-person get-togethers, the world stopped, pushed everybody into our platform. Now we've got, you know, now it's just crazy seeing
We
how
have always done this. I mean, look, when we first started this podcast, within the first couple weeks, we had a thing for Gary Meyer, a very good friend of ours. He's got his own podcast going on. And so I used Visla. Remember, I made a thing for Gary on here so he could, some of our audience would, you know, go over and discover Gary Meyer. I mean, he's world famous. The guy's a Hall of Fame radio announcer. Mike Brown doing Zoom backs. All of the backgrounds that Mike Brown does, the animated backgrounds for Zoom. Very shortly, we're going to be adding, letting people see what our friend Mike Brown is doing. I cannot wait, by the way, because he did, you know, we do that Wayne Altman Doomsday Minute with our AI, and it's always tickled me. Well, Mike came up with a background for me, branded Wayne Altman Doomsday Minute. I'm going to be featuring it and giving Mike a little bit of time here, introducing our audience to the great things that Mike is doing. If you're in a lot of Zooms, or you like Zoom backgrounds that are animated and not the same old thing, you know, Mike's your guy. So we practice here what we preach. We encourage user-generated content. Right now, listen to me, you guys. Send us the projects that you are working on. We will find a way to add them to you know, uplift them into this podcast. We practice what we preach here, and we will showcase it directly during this podcast. I would love to do that. I love doing that. Not would love. We already do it, and I will continue to do that.
love it. Yeah. So anyway, that's all good and exciting. And
Yeah.
we did just send you know, I've been watching, and some of the beeps you hear is, you know, we sent out this survey for Witty members today, and many of you have joined and participated in the sessions. And that's, by the way, the AI think tanks that we have every Tuesday and Thursday, where we'll have a Wayne Altman Doomsday Minute, because the rest of it is positive about productively using AI. Yeah, these are great tools, right, to amplify what we're doing. You know, I mean, you know, I think it seems like when we say for number 4, creating high quality content would be a no-brainer.
No.
But you know, with AI, just
With
you
AI,
gotta
you're
be
right.
careful.
I know what you're going to say, and you know, look, it is a problem. It's a problem. I mean, look, I'm looking at a lot of, look, YouTube is scheduled to grow by 3 times by 2027. So just that one platform is going to triple in size, triple the number of amount of content, the amount of creators, the amount of sponsors, okay? Triple. It's huge right now. It will be 3 times that size by 2027. Now, people really need to get a handle. If you're going to compete, you really need, it's only going to go to the people that can actually create high quality content. How do you do that? Well, you got to find out. One of the good news we are doing, you and I are putting together classes on how to create that content, because a lot of people think you can point your phone, or you can go on Canva, or you could, and let AI create a bunch of high quality content. And that nothing could be further from the truth, to be honest with you. You can use AI to create high quality content 100%. I'm not saying that at all. I do that. What I'm saying is you have to go in and do the editing and know what high quality content looks like before, because I'm telling you, there's some really bad stuff that's, out there in people's social media. I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about in company social media right now. It's bad.
If your business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
Totally. And just, as people automate things and not double checking, and people are getting laid off and they think they can do less with more. And some things you can't. But you have to, we're going to hit this peak with AI. I mean, AI is certainly getting better. But again, it's
Well, look, it's got to be visually appealing. It has to, you got to kind of wow your audience a little bit. It's got to be visually appealing. It's got to be shot well. It's got to make sense. And it's got to be value-driven content. I got to feel like I learned something or felt something or was informed of something. I'm in the know, and if you, and by the way, the worst of everything, as we found out how difficult it is to be consistent. Herding you two monkeys is not easy. And to get people focused on something, especially in the early days, right now, it is not hard to talk Joe Rogan into sitting down and to doing a podcast and being regular with it. And I will submit to you, it never was hard to get him to do that. Okay. I've been watching him from jump back in the back of the Comedy Store days. He's always been 100% committed. And now he's where he is. Mr. Beast, same thing. That kid counted to 1 million. I mean, he did things that nobody else was doing. Okay. He was committed and now he's where he is. So listen, you guys, if you will commit, do whatever you want to do. There is an audience for it. But if you want an audience to commit to what you're doing, you first.
Totally. And it is great to have Bruce Bryan, as part of the metal community. Watch his episode on Joe Rogan. You won't be disappointed. And we should have Bruce on the show, right? And talk about some of the things with him. He's been attending a lot of our Odyssey events that happen every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And, and some of the other witty events he was at this week. That was crazy.
If you can't be consistent in your story and the execution, you got to be consistent in the execution. We talked about this last episode, right? That drip, drip, drip. That's where damage from water comes in. That consistent drip, floods aside, but that you can be really damaging with that constant drip, that constant stream that's going to, and you can also do a lot of good, handing out food on one street corner. One act of kindness multiplies itself by 10 times by the time, it's all said and done, right? But consistency, that's the key. It can't be some random thing going on.
Without a doubt. And, it kind of rolls right into number 3. Choose the right platform. You're not just going to create one thing and put it on many different platforms without tweaking it. You can have kind of the same general clip or message, but then, talking to the users. This earth is a big place with billions of people, right? So,
yeah. Well, you can tell the difference. Watching our clips on TikTok, I get a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, Dave, call me and go, "Oh my God, I just saw your clip, your bald head on TikTok," and it's funny. Okay, I gotta admit, it's pretty funny to me too. A lot of my daughter's friends. I'm at a volleyball game yesterday, little Mo, and her friends were like, "Mo, your dad is famous." They think that because they see me on TikTok, these clips on TikTok, that somehow I've gained some kind of fame. It's actually hilarious. And it's very funny because you can tell the difference with us, you can tell the difference because we make it different between a clip on Facebook, clip on Instagram, and a clip on TikTok. So it's very sharp that you notice that, because there are differences between those three platforms, the way people ingest content. And so it's a lot of work to make those changes on the same clip. The same piece of content has to be, done. And not every time is it different, but enough that you can definitely see it.
Yes, which, takes us right into number 2, understanding your audience, right? Your audience is going to look different on TikTok than it does on Instagram, than it does on YouTube, than it does on X. And again, you don't have to go out on every platform or feel like you're missing out if you're not ready. You're going to save yourself a lot of time and grief, because each thing, it's not just putting out a video on TikTok or Instagram. It's understanding the audience, who the audience are, what behaviors they like. Do they like 20-second clips? They like 2-minute clips.
Well, here's the thing. You're 100% correct. Okay. But going back, part of that is the tools are different. There are different filters on TikTok than there are on Instagram, and different captions on Facebook than both of those two things. Okay. So that's that's how you do that. You use different tools that are available to you on each platform to make your content match up to the platform that you've placed it on. How's that? Is that and to make you relevant? Because if you see a TikTok filter on an Instagram reel, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like crayons when you're over on Instagram and you're watching a piece of content that was made and not changed from TikTok. It feels like someone used crayons to make that content.
Totally.
Am I right?
Oh, 1,000%, and
Sticks out like a sore thumb.
another project we have is the relaunch of the Hollywood Film Festival that will happen in late October.
Yep.
And there's just so many different, it is, as we have these experts on our team that are pushing it out, that are this platform, that platform, right? And we will have some giveaways for people that want to participate in that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of these things each one's a full-time job. It's not a social media person, right? It's a TikTok person, and it's an Instagram person. So anyway,
Yeah, as long as you understand the analytical tools
right,
on each of these platforms, and you can reach your audience by understanding and doing the research on your because what I noticed was our demographic on TikTok skews younger than the demographic on Instagram, and younger still than what's on Facebook. So it's older on Facebook, a little bit younger on Instagram, and very young on TikTok. Now, if I were jaded, I would say, okay, I'm speaking to the youngest audience that I can possibly speak to. Most people that are on Facebook are, older retirement, they're older people or whatever, if I gave into that, and they're not looking at starting their own business or getting business advice, because that's what we do here. Okay. But that would be the wrong way of looking at that. That would be the wrong thing to do. So you can adjust that content to give people on Facebook same advice, but couch it a little bit differently. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and everybody benefits.
for sure. And really, right, we started today with number 10, stay updated on trends. 9 was analyze and optimize. 8 was collaborate with influencers. 7, utilize paid advertising. 6, engage with your audience. 5, leverage user-generated content, right? A lot of times people don't look at that. 4, create high-quality content. So really, don't rush, get the right stuff out. 3, choose the right platforms. Number 2, understand your audience, right? So they all have similar threads going through.
Hi,
just
I'm Sarah, and I want to share with you why I switched from Calm to MelodyClouds, and why you should too. I used Calm for a while, and it's a great app. But as someone who loves audiobooks and needs soothing sleep stories to wind down, I was looking for something that wouldn't break the bank. That's when I found MelodyClouds. With MelodyClouds, I get access to a vast library of audiobooks across all my favorite genres. Whether I'm in the mood for a gripping mystery or a heartwarming romance, MelodyClouds has me covered. And the sleep stories? They're magical. I drift off to sleep faster and wake up more refreshed. But here's the best part, the price. For just $5.99 a month, or $59.99 a year, I get all of this amazing content. That's nearly half of what I was paying for Calm. And trust me, the quality of the content is top-notch. I get everything I need to relax, focus, and sleep soundly without emptying my wallet. So, if you're like me and want premium relaxation and meditation content without the premium price, switch to MelodyClouds. You'll get all the content you love and more, for a price that can't be beat. Make the smart choice for your mind and your wallet. Try MelodyClouds today. For a limited time, try MelodyClouds at $2.99 for 60 days. If you love it, keep it for $5.99 a month. You can find us at melodyclouds.com.
And look, at where you got to start is with number 1, to define clear goals. How do we know we were successful?
Yeah.
At the end of the month, no matter what we made, if we don't say our goal was X, right? And we either went above X or below X.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, look, Dave, you're right. I mean, if you wanted to go to Disneyland from where I am, there are freeways to take. Okay. And if you don't plan, and you got to figure out, okay, what time of day do I take, the 10 or the 60? Okay. What time of day? That's going to answer your question. And by the way, if you live in California like I do, you are not even getting on the freeway until you've looked and seen what traffic is doing right now.
Right.
And if you're trying to run a business that has swimwear and you don't even know who you're selling swimwear to, whether it's trunks or bikinis, whether it's wraps or whether it's one pieces, then you need to find that out. What's selling? What looks good? What are the styles? And if you're not, and let's say that you have a bunch of thongs sitting in a warehouse somewhere that you want to get rid of, well, there's your goal. That's a goal. So we are going to need to create social media content to either bring those back and make people want to buy them from us so we don't have to throw them in a dumpster somewhere, or we're going to be in a world of hurt. So you set a specific objective. That's, let's get rid of these thongs. And then you start measuring how your social media is doing by using those KPIs, by looking and saying, all right, did our sales of bikinis go up or thongs go up? Yes, they did. So what we're doing is working. Let's do more of that. Did this platform, is this the platform, TikTok? Is that how we sold them? Yes. Okay. Double up what we're doing on TikTok, and let's start getting some Instagram ads up there and kind of matching that up. If you're not doing that kind of stuff, you are destined to fail.
But a lot of that does have to be consistent with the stuff you're naturally producing too, right? So it's kind of pushing it through. And I'll tell you, if you do think about it like a map, I live in San Luis Obispo County, you live in LA. If I was driving to San Francisco, to Nevada, back around to come to you, that would make sense.
No.
Right? But if we mapped out some of the social media plans and some things people are doing,
you're never going to get there. I'll never see you.
You're going to see that you're going to have you're taking a 24-hour drive instead of maybe a 3-hour drive, because you're just not looking at those analytics and the goals, the A/B testing, the content, and understand the audience and everything we spoke about today. So
Well, if you were flying in, right, and I knew that you flew out of San Luis Obispo, airport, but I was looking at the arrivals, and I was looking at the Denver, waiting for you to get off the Denver plane. You're not getting off that plane. Okay. I mean, we can say it a million different ways. It's the fact of the matter is the truth. And, you have to understand your audience. You have to have a plan. Anyone that fails to plan plans to fail. I've said it a million times. You absolutely have to have a thought out, well executed plan, because anything short of that, there's no such thing as dumb luck. That is a quick way of going out of business, David.
Absolutely. I think that's it, Wayne. We had some great content today. You can hear the dog barking. She wants to
Katie wants to eat.
Take care of business.
Is that her problem, Dave? She wants to go get some to eat.
Enough. Hey, great stuff, right? I think as we get the community tighter, all support each other. You have your book, getting to 100,000 Instagram followers.
And hey, by the way, I am super excited about that, because it's right now getting a cover, right? It is really, really good information in there. 100,000 followers in 90 days. You absolutely can do that. I show in the book exactly how that's done. That's not a tongue-in-cheek title. It is 100% doable. I just want to say one thing real quick to our audience. If you see Ian Slade, would you please point him back? We love you and we want to do this with you. Come back to us.
Yes.
Come back, Ian.
For sure. And with that, everybody, have a great
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
You have big
have a next
Labor Day plans?
Right? No, Labor Day. I think I'm dusting off the rollerblades for sure. So you heard it here first, Wayne. Hold me accountable. I think I may need well, I put some speed skate on my wheels, but they've been sitting and it's and you know,
I will give a 1-year membership to MelodyClouds to anyone who gets me a picture of David Layton on rollerblades. I want a picture of that. And that includes you, Dave. If you want to, put the rollerblades on and take a picture and send it to me, I am 100% in for that.
I'll bring a puck and my stick and I'll shoot you right in the butt on my rollerblades.
I'll let you. That's crazy.
We'll put you in net. Okay, brother. Good one.
Hey, have a great Labor Day. And thanks, everybody.
Yep. We'll see you next week.